Well, hey there, this is Jerry, and I'm getting started on another episode of What's Broke Today. And today, it's part 15 of Rusty, our 2002 F350 rust repair. And today we're going to do some seam sealer. Now, the first thing before I put my seam sealer in is I'm just going to take my scuff pad and come up through that seam and get down in the crack and scuff there, and then I'm going to come up on the outside and just smooth it up a little and make sure we got a good surface for adhesion, because we'll end up scuffing the whole thing, because I'm gonna paint this red, but I'm not gonna get this in here as smooth as I did the outside of the truck. But yeah, just come in here and scuff that, and then I'm going to repeat that for all four of these, because I got two, one at the rear and one at the front on each side. And that was going to be a challenge because I can't open the door all the way, but I'll come back after I get these scuffed and when I get ready to put the seam sealer in. And I scuffed this with my scuff pad. Now I took my wax and grease remover and cleaned it. I didn't record that. And now I'm going to take and squeeze this out. Like so. I'll just take put on a latex glove, and I'll just take this and work it and smear it up into the seam itself, and fill it in. And you got to work kind of quick because, as you can see, it's already getting tacky. And then we can come to the front one here and do the same thing. Now this one's a lot bigger gap, so we'll put a little bit more up there, and of course I gotta use the other finger, but basically I'm gonna take and try and cram that into that seam as best I can. And just smooth it up a little. And that'll take care of the door jamb. And the next thing we're going to do is come inside where I put in this panel in here. And I really don't know how well this is going to show up, but basically what I'm going to do is come up here in this corner. And of course, I scuffed some in here and wiped it down and blew it out with the air compressor. I'm going to seal this stuff on the inside. And like through there, I'm just going to use my finger. And then back here, got a couple places back here that are bigger holes that I'm going to fill up. Okay. I'll take our finger and smooth it out a little. And we'll come up here through this groove. We'll smooth that out. And the interesting part is, oh, knock my one light over. And now I'm going to come around this seam and fill it up pretty good. And then use a spatula for a body filler and just smooth it out, because this don't, I'm going to undercoat on the bottom side, so this doesn't have to be pretty. I just want to make sure I get it smeared down in that groove good. And with the way this stuff sets up, I wasn't doing the whole thing at once. But just follow that seam, and like here, because this spatula really won't be good for nothing else, so we use all sides and smear it in. Okay. It's got rust all over it now, but a little bit more right there. This stuff's super tacky, so that's why I put on these gloves. And this will all be under the carpet, and if you look, you can see where the factory stuff, they put it almost an inch wide coming down through there. And it's mainly because it's out of sight, out of mind. But I think in the overall, we're going to be good to go. Okay. And we're going to call that good. Peel my gloves off. And actually, you can turn them inside out, so that junk's on the inside. And I did get a hole in the glove, but all right. Next step, we'll get around. I'll take the doors off, but I can't do that today because it's been off and on raining, and I need to pull this thing outside and turn it around. Well, hey, I think we're getting close to, I'm getting set up actually. I want to spray red paint today. So even though it's 11 o'clock already, I was rearranging some things and doing some planning. I changed my lights around a little bit so I'd have better lighting. I'm going to get the truck, get it outside, turn it around and facing in the door, or toward the door. I'm going to get my fenders set up on their sawhorses toward the back. I'm going to pull the doors off the truck and put them on my other stands and set them a little closer to the front, or all depends on when I start setting things up. I'll rearrange and get them in a good where it's easy for me to walk around them to spray, and where I hopefully won't be catching the air hose on them or knocking them off and where they'll fall. And then have the truck inside the door. That I can't go back too far because of the sun. Let's see if I can get that set, because we're right at the edge of the camera being in the sun. Like, come up a hair. So I want the door, or the truck inside the door, and I'm gonna get it close, and I'm gonna lift the bed up in the back and see how far I can raise it up in the air. And then I'm gonna use probably 2 4x4s as props, so I can get the cab of it, the truck in as far as I can, which I'm hoping to have. I'd like to have 2 feet of it inside the door. That's mainly so I can go around the front from side to side and be able to spray. I want to be able to have room for ladders on either side, because, you know, standing on the ground, and I may actually even let the air out of the front tires to drop the front of the truck, but because, you know, no matter what, I cannot reach comfortably to the center of the hood without touching the hood. So we may let air out, and then it'd really be nice if I have a ladder on each side so I can get the hood, you know. And what I'd really like to do is spray the hood left to right, and then front to back, if I can work that out, and do the same thing up on the roof. That I was hoping if I get the bed up high enough, I can put some boards across the frame to stand on and be able to lean up against the back of the cab and hold my air hose up and reach up and lean far enough to spray around the front of the cab by the windshield. Would really be nice. And I spray the door jambs that, depending on what it looks like, probably put at least 2 coats on everything, but chances are I'm going to do 2 coats on door jambs and the inside of the doors. On the back side of the fender that's going to be under the hood, probably do 2 coats, but then everything that's on the outside, I'm going to shoot for 3 coats. That way, in case I have an ubu, I could do some sanding and, you know, wet sand it out and polish it. So, but yeah, I'll come back when I get everything rearranged. I'll come back and show you how I got it set up, and a little bit of a challenge with recording today because my media mod for my GoPro broke, so the microphone on it don't work. So I'm strictly relying on the microphone on the GoPro. So if it seems like I'm yelling, it's because I want to make sure you hear me. That I'm going to get around and get a wireless mic that I can wear. That way it don't matter where the GoPro is, you always hear good, because when I go to edit these videos, it's a little annoying when I have to change the volume for me to listen to edit, so I know you got to change the volume to listen as you're watching my videos, and I'm going to try and fix that. So I'll be back in a few. Well, I got fenders up, are off, and up on the racks, ready to go. I've wiped everything down with wax and grease remover. I got my doors off and setting on their stands. I'm just going to spray the door jamb side that faces the body. I'm going to get things like, you know, where you can see in here from the inside and a little bit in there, but if it's covered up with plastic, door panel, run rubber, you know, or trim, I'm not going to worry about getting painting the whole thing. But for now, then we'll get the doors and the door jamb area. And then I got the truck pulled in, the bed, well, I guess it's almost all the way up. So I'm inside the door. Everything wiped down. I got my extra taping off done. The only thing I got to go get is a trash bag to throw over the steering wheel and steering column. But I got I think it's a 1966 Lincoln coming out. I don't know if it's a Continental or a Mark Series. I'll find out when it gets here. I've seen a picture of it, but it's been many, many years ago. But that'll be a video coming up. But that'll be probably after I get done with all this painting. But when I get ready to start shooting paint, I'll fire the camera back up. I got red paint. Let's go. There is a left front fender, which I got more orange peel than I wanted, and especially back toward the door. But then got my door jambs cut in, and that actually looks pretty good. And then got this will be the right front door cut in. And of course, my right front fender, I mean, still has some orange peel, but actually looks pretty good. And then my hood, it might have actually, other than I got a little bit of trash in it, it might have turned out the best. I imagine a very light wet sand and a polish, and that hood will look spectacular. And then of course I got my door jambs cut in. Forgot to go get my plastic bag to put on my steering wheel, but we don't have hardly any red on it. I've got to clean the inside anyway. But yeah, cab corner, I can see my seam on the back of the cab, but here on the outside, that looks great. Passenger side, all cut in good. But I'll probably go take a shower and clean up, and then come back in a little while and peel some tape. But I did get a run right there by where the light would be. But Yeah, that don't look too bad. Now let's see if I can step up on the ladder. And yeah, roof don't look too bad. But that'll be hard to see unless you're on a ladder like me, so it's going to be okay. But tomorrow, give this time to set up overnight, and let it set up overnight, and then I'll flip the doors over. I'll probably have to do some, you know, because where I had overspray, I'll probably have to deal with that a little bit, but we'll flip it over and we'll spray the outside of the doors. I'll take the fenders and back the truck out, so I'll have plenty of room to walk around the doors when I shoot the outside, and hopefully it all turns out good too. And we're about ready for some reassembly. Well, I got my doors flipped over. As you might notice, there's some new darker gray primer on the bottom of the door. I didn't see that I'd sanded clear through right down here near the edge. So I went ahead and gave that a quick coat of primer. I still need to do my final feel and wipe down, because like up here, I think that's just a little bit of overspray from what I was spraying on top. I feel up here. So I'm going to go over that with a Scotch-Brite pad and basically just take it and work it in a circular motion, because I just want to smooth it up. I want as minimal material removal as possible. Now, get to doing that, got to almost hold the door because you can feel it moving on you. But in the overall, I did the same thing over here. But here at the bottom, I reshot and then just lightly sanded around the edges. That little bit of overspray I got from my rattle can, but that's down low, probably won't be noticed. We'll need another wipe down for sure, but I'm thinking that, yeah, that actually might be just a little bit of orange peel I can sand out. And like this one, this all feels like overspray. So, but I'll run the Scotch-Brite over it and get it ready, and then I'll get set up when I actually get ready to do some paint. Gonna notice a big difference from yesterday. We got head cover, body cover, my gloves. I'm gonna pull my sleeves down a little farther. Not being in a traditional paint booth, airflow ended up swirling around in here, and I was a mess last night, so I don't want that today. So let's get back to painting. I got the second coat laid down. I guess I didn't hit the record button, so you missed it, but one thing I was going to mention, and I have a very hard time with this, is now look at the angle of my cup versus the angle of my tip. I have a hard time keeping the gun perfectly square as I move. I tend to want to hold it to keep my cup level, but it really needs to be, depending on what I'm spraying. If I'm spraying like that door, My cup needs to be here, not here. Likewise, when I'm doing things the other way, it's got to lay back toward me, and I inevitably end up trying to always hold that level, this level, instead of this. So, but that's me. Okay, well, I got all my paint on, and a lot of times I'm excessively critical of this on myself, but somewhere up here, some of this up on this, where it goes up around the front, got a lot of orange peel in it, but so you can probably see that's a decent reflection there. And looking outside, I mean, other than a little bit of trash that's in it, actually I think it's sprayed as good as the paint on a new car, because you go out and look at a new car or truck and look at the paint, almost all of it's got some kind of orange peel in it, because right there, this in here is got quite a bit. But I mean, in the overall, let's walk outside. When I stand back here and we look at this fender, we talk about a show quality paint job while we're up here. It is not. We go back 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. Well, we'll go 5. Say about 10 foot away. From 10 foot, most people are going to love that paint job. They're just sitting overnight as it cures, like the hood itself, even though it's not perfect. It did, what I call flatten out or smooth out more. It's still got orange peel, but it really isn't that bad. So, and there's places like, and when I get ready to go next video and start doing assembly, some of this hidden in here, we're actually going to spray it with like a rust preventer. But that really isn't too bad. I got all the paper peeled. When I paint the frame and the back end of this, which I don't know how clean I'll be able to get that, but I'll probably do some scraping on it and degreasing, but I'll wrap all the red in some plastic before I start that. But not bad for a job under a carport and in an old dirty barn, put it that way. Well, hey, I appreciate you watching this episode on me actually getting red paint on our truck. That we've been talking about this for 6 months. We have red, so when I return, I will have already bolted the doors on the truck. As soon as I can, I want to get them on there, just so they don't get knocked off these racks or get broke, or scratched, I should say. I don't want them scratched. But if I had a paint booth, we could have had a lot nicer paint job. But for being in the barn, you can't beat it. That if we do any more, I may invest in one of those inflatable paint booths, just so we can have keep the bugs out, have better ventilation, and actually control the dust and dirt a little better. Because as you can see, my tarps go in and out from the wind blowing. So even though I got a fan going, so when dirt gets stirred up, it circulates it through here. But we have to run the fan to get all the fumes out, so it's not unhealthy to be in here, because the fumes from this paint, they're not good for you. They can hurt you. So always wear the proper safety gear and do what I did on this last spraying of the doors. The suit, shoe covers, I had a sock on, plus the hood, my respirator, safety glasses. I had latex gloves on. Be safe. That it ain't no fun if you breathe this stuff in, it gets in your lungs. you may not be here long. So, but hey, I appreciate you watching. Always like those thumbs up for the likes. Thanks for all those comments, and I'm gonna say thank you to everybody that has subscribed to my channel. I appreciate you watching. Hey, if you're not a subscriber, better join on in, because there's no telling what else you may see on What's Broke Today. Thank you.